Succession is an interesting show because I feel like I don't imagine all those kids actually behaving like that at that level.
Succession is based off true people,
No,
man.
don't
Like,
ruin it. Don't ruin it.
no, we're not ruining it, but it's based off real, like how people at that kind of like silver spoon level they behave. Like the Rogers family head, he probably behaves like that, or to a degree, he probably behaves like that. Elon Musk, though not an idiot, does behave like that entitlement exists.
Yeah, but if you've watched the show, they do some pretty crazy shit.
I just hate how like they throw on buzzwords, and I'm like, it's too real because so many executives will throw on buzzwords like this, like synergy.
Yeah.
What else? Scale up. Like, oh,
And
I think they're doing it
the
on
way
purpose. Like they know, like it's not. I think they're doing a comical slash. Like, yeah, this is what they do.
so annoying.
it does make the way they talk so fast, like it takes me time to catch up.
It's all
And
Coke talk.
It's all what talk?
Coke.
Oh.
You ever see people hopped up on Coke? That's how they talk.
No, I don't surround myself with food. I need to expose myself to people who Coke talk. All right.
I like that. I never
It's
heard
like
that
very
before.
quick. I mean, it's like it's so quick. They're just like there's like a lot of like inside jokes and like not even jokes. It's like you need to make like bunch of connections to be able to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, like the only people that talk normal pace or even slow are like the old dude and Siobhan. Because they don't do coke, but like the two sons do. Obviously, like one of them's a drug addict.
Isn't that good acting?
No, I don't know if it's method acting or if it's like lived experience, but their characters definitely do it.
They're like justifying it to their families. I need to do coke for this job. Trust me.
It sounds like you gotta watch that show on subtitles with subtitles on.
Yeah.
No, do you?
Right, to keep
No.
up with understanding it.
No, like you understand the English, but they talk like fast with like context that is very hard to understand for me. I'll just be like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, she said this
you mean
thing. Like, what does she mean?
terminology?
Potentially the terminology, but mainly the underlying the context that they're trying to convey.
Yeah.
The other person gets it, but like as the viewer, I'm like, I don't know, what are they trying to say? Like, you know?
So is it a matter because Succession is based on like some hedge fund thing, right? Or is that Billions?
That's Billions.
Oh, okay.
Amanda watches Billions?
No, I want
I
to
haven't
watch
watched
Billions.
Billions. Is Billions good?
Yeah, the new season just came out, and I'm watching. I just finished the first episode, so it's coming out every Friday. There's 7 seasons, so the 6 seasons are really good. Like, it does get somewhat repetitive, but it's good. Like, it's interesting.
I see. Yeah, those are the two shows because I know Succession has that actor from Sneaky Pete. Have you guys watched Sneaky Pete?
No.
Oh, that's the show that he had done before Succession, or that's what he would
Which
do him
guy?
up to a certain extent. Yeah. I don't know the actor's name, but he acted in Sneaky Pete. He was the main role in Sneaky Pete, and I love that show because of his acting. Like, it was just so good.
It's
I believe
crazy
it's
to me
the
that
same actor.
Succession, like the characters are technically Canadian because their dad is Canadian.
Actually?
Yeah, it's one of the I think the brothers. I can't remember the head Succession guy's name, like the dad.
Yeah.
The dad's brother is in Canada. The dad himself moved to America, but they're technically like,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But
Like,
they're
in the show,
technically
like the
Canadian.
characters. Yeah. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Even the actors, like I think they did a really good job. Like, they played each character very well. It's so funny because I was at the airport at YVR, and I was coming back on a flight. My
What
flight
is
got delayed.
YVR? Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver.
People say
And-
YVR.
Well, like, we're
To
YYZ,
specify,
right? Yeah.
to specify the airport.
No, I just said
Yeah.
Pearson.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Anyways, Vancouver Airport. That's not part of. It's like that's not part of the story. You concentrated on the wrong detail. And then I was coming back. Flight got delayed, so I sat down and I was reading something on my Kindle. And this lady was like, "Oh, like I want to buy a Kindle, like whatever." I started talking to her, and then we got to Succession, and she's like, "I am in love with this show." She's like, "The characters are so infuriating, but you can't stop watching them." And I'm like, that's exactly it. Like, this show, you hate watching it because you're like, it's so cringe. Why are people like this? But you watch it because of that. You're like, what are they gonna do next? What are these dipshits gonna do next?
So it's like watching like one of those reality shows like Love is Blind. And
No, it's different. Like, I think Love is Blind, it's trash, With
Or
Succession,
Bachelor? The Bachelor?
it's trash because it's like eating junk food, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So that's what
Succession
it
is
sounds
like eating at Olive Garden. It's like kind of bad, kind of good. Like the characters are not always stupid. Like they have
Bro,
their
I
moments.
don't eat at Olive Garden. Too bougie for me. Give me another
Olive Garden is
example.
bougie.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
Jeez.
kidding. I'm kidding. But I've never
Scatterbush?
been
No,
there.
that's very bougie.
Is it? I thought Olive
Is
Garden and
Scatterbush bougie?
Scatterbush should be the same.
Is it? I'm not sure. I actually haven't never ate at Olive Garden.
Okay, but go
to see.
ahead. Make the point.
That's
But like,
funny.
yeah, it's like they're not always stupid or dumb. They have their moments, but they're in the end, like you'll see that they are what they are.
Yeah, it's more of like the value system that they have.
Yeah,
Right. It's not even the fact that they're dumb or they're smart. It has nothing to do with that. They're all fairly smart people. The thing that gets you is why are they worried about this shit? Like what are the things that they worry about and they care about is so interesting coming from like I guess our normal lives where we'd be happy to have like a percentage of what they have, a very minuscule percentage, and still be happy and then be like, all right, we're good. We're not going to stab our freaking brothers and sisters in the back to be able to get something. But for them, like everything's on the table for business.
I don't know, man. I think that kind of dynamic exists at any
Yeah.
income level. Like
Yeah.
you hear these kind of stories back home about like people like fighting over a very small plot of land, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it happens.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess. I don't know. I guess then
That's
it's just
a-
my
it's a
value
human-
system because like when I watched it, I'm like, I would not. This is crazy. Like this is insane. Like you guys are beyond wealthy. You have everything you need, and you will always have like means, and you guys are still worried about the fact that somebody's gonna become CEO. Like who gives a shit? Like it's in the family.
How about like in your own life? It's like what's the term? Lifestyle creep or whatever. Like when you start making like more, like, you stop making more, and then like you kind of start spending more. Couldn't
Yeah,
you
it's
say,
like you
you
achieve the goal, but then you want more.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I don't think it's that. I think it's we don't sympathize with these characters because they have drive, but they're somewhat incompetent. If they were competent and had drive, you'd be praising them. Right? Like if Kendall or Roman were like, they showed legitimate like competency and they're
I don't know,
driven.
but
You'd be
backstabbing, like throwing your brother like under the bus.
Yeah, think about it. People rooted for what's that guy? The guy from Breaking Bad. He's competent and he's like pretty bad.
Did
but
he
like
throw his- did he throw, like,
he
family
wanted
members
he
under
wanted
the
his
bus?
money at all costs, and we like enjoyed watching him through that process. Whereas like you have the opposite thing with Succession because these kids are incompetent.
Did Breaking Bad guy throw his family under the bus and stuff like that? That's crazy as
Dude, I don't want to spoil it, but
I've watched it. I just don't remember.
I haven't.
Oh.
there are.
You're not watching
I
Breaking
think
Bad, man. It's 2023. This guy's
yeah.
like-
Honestly, yeah.
years.
There's no spoilers here, dude. It's old
Bro,
show.
I haven't
dude.
watched
Come
that. I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Granted, I haven't finished Game of Thrones either.
Well, it's
Yeah,
just
I stopped
I
watching.
I think I'm.
But
tapped
yeah,
out.
I think at some points does throw people under the bus.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
close to him,
sometimes.
he does throw under the bus.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it often, and he doesn't like to do it. Like that's kind of why you cheer for him. Like you can still see he's kind of a good person, but at the end, he is who he is, right?
Well,
and
that's
he
what
does
it is.
some-
It's like he's somewhat fallible, but you're like, okay, he's kind of like a human that you can relate to.
He's human and he's smart.
Yeah, no, that's a very good. Like you pointed out a very good point because it's like it is true. If they were somewhat competent, you'd be like, all right, we want them to have this position. Whereas because they aren't and they're still kind of succeeding, you're like, WTF? Like,
Yeah.
how are they still in this game?